Welcome back to the Burnout Bob YouTube channel. In today's video, we will be working on the Honda Ruckus, the 2020 Ruckus that you saw in the previous video. If you have not, check out the previous video. I do a full teardown on this bike. It was bone stock just yesterday, and now it's torn down to this. I just took in a whole bunch of parts from the ruck shop that the customer purchased, getting ready to send stuff out the powder coat and go through all that until we can get everything in order. Today I am going to be trimming down the factory controls. So I have to shave one side of the control so that it works with the master cylinder that's coming in with the kit. This way you can still keep the factory controls. I'm also going to powder coat those, so that's why I want to get those shaved and done today so that they can be gloss black and match everything else that's going on the bike. As well as that, I'm going to be trimming off the, I call them the bunny ears, the taller tabs that hold the blinkers for the Honda Ruckus headlight assembly. I'm going to be cutting off those, grinding that smooth, and then finishing that up in the white since that's what color it is currently. Those are two things I'll be doing in today's video, and then we'll get stuff out to powder coat. When stuff comes back, we will begin assembly and getting this thing looking pretty just how the customer wants it. Let's go ahead and get cracking.
Yeah, and you don't stop, and you won't stop. Yeah, and you don't stop, and you won't stop, and you...
Alright, let me just apologize. Your boy jumped the gun. So in the last scene you saw I was grinding away the stock headlight frame, and I was doing the controls and stuff like that, which I've done in other videos. And then I was going to do powder coat prep so you guys can see what I do for powder coat, but I forgot I already did that video. Didn't do so well, but I figured, I was like, oh, maybe I should be helpful and do that. Realized I already did that, so skip that. Stuff went to powder coat. I got it back the next day, and then once I got it back, I was so excited to start putting the bike together that I completely forgot to film. So that is my fault. I am sorry. You know, you ever get so like caught up in something you just want to get to it, and I completely forgot to record. The bike's not done by any means necessary. I just already started putting stuff together. So what I'm gonna do to make up to you is I'm gonna go ahead and show you what I got done here, and we'll just do a quick walk around of the progress where I'm at with the bike. So for the front here, I have the add-on forks in, nothing special, just put them in a triple tree. I drilled out right here where the factory little amber reflectors are. Drilled those out to, I think it's a 10 mil. Put the factory blinkers right there. I've always been a big fan of that with keeping the stock headlights. I just think it's a cool look to have that on the side. Yeah, you can do flush mount ones, but something about that just keeps it like still that OEM nostalgia to it. So like that. 6T, I shaved the bunny ears off, as I call them. They're no longer there. Nice and clean. I did the master cylinder here, gloss black. The factory controls. Let's focus on the right thing. There we go. Factory controls, gloss black. The TRS handlebars, the clip-on bars, along with the vapor, the left control here. Did that. Right now I have the ECU out because I am currently just getting ready to do the CDI as well as the Trail Tech Vapor. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of wiring in that area. Down here, have the rear sets on. As you can see, did the red pegs, did a red dress-up washer there. Have the little boy seat kit. That's on there, along with the seat that I had mounted, or a seat cover I guess you said, that I got from the ruck shop that we mounted on there. So that's all good. Powder coated the bracket there, along with the stretch mount. And I'm gonna come around the shock arm. So I have those on there right now. Currently what I am doing is I'm going to be painting the motor. It's one thing that not a lot of people do for the 49cc platform, which is crazy because it cleans up the bike so much when you paint the motor black. I like to use wrinkle black, so I'm gonna be using wrinkle black just like I do on all the GY6 motors. It's something that a lot of the people with the GY6s do. They paint the motors. 49cc guys, if you're ever pulling the motor out to do a swap, I say do it. It cleans it up so much. If your bike has a lot of silver in it, then I could see keeping it. This bike does not. I'm trying to get as much silver out as I can. So with that, I am painting the motor. So I'm gonna go ahead and paint the motor. Once I do that, I can start mounting it back in, and then I will come back for that, I promise. So you can see the motor is on. Got the TVR intake on. The carb is rejetted. I have the stock floorboard panel on. It's not bolted down right now. And that's strictly because I am trying to figure out placement for these JBL speakers. These are made for a motorcycle. They're small, but they're pretty slick. So I'm thinking right here might work. And then I'll work on wiring them up. My biggest concern is if the charging system can handle that. What I'm going to be doing next is the rest of the wiring for the Trailtech Vapor, as you've seen in different videos. So I'm going to be doing the power and ground, cleaning all this up, as well as doing the CDI. So I'll be cutting the wire like you've seen in the Ruck Shop videos. Cutting the wire like you've seen in the Ruck Shop videos for the CDI, tapping it into that, and then cleaning up the rest of the harness up front here. Once that's all done, then I will get to the speakers and start working on that. I really like the placement. It's a little bit different than where you would normally have them. A lot of people always put them on the floor right here or the tank cover. This kind of matches really well with, it's like a satin finish right here on the outside, which matches like the satin of the factory plastic. So happy about how that looks. I'm excited to see how loud it is too. So once I get that all done, you can see the motor is all painted black. This is something that I highly suggest if you're going to do the fatty swap and you have to pull the motor out. It looks so much better with the motor being all black painted. And so I'm going to go ahead and put this on a time lapse again and just keep knocking out more wiring.
Don't stop. And you don't stop, and you won't stop.
Alright, so we're doing a brief pause in the time lapse so you can see where I'm at. I went ahead and ran the power wire for the NCY just like how they do in the Ruck Shop's video. The ground, I cut the wire a little bit short, put a new piece on it or fitting at the end there so that I could put it to the terminal. Ran it around. We'll break over to the other side. I did my own little fittings other than the bolt connectors. Split the wire for the ECM, tapping those two. Probably took 5 minutes, super fast. And then the perfect placement for the CDI is right behind the ECU here. There's a gap there and I just throw a zip tie on it and it holds it in place. You can see for the LED headlights that I'm using, the ones from the Ruck Shop, I just put some 3M tape on the back of the ballast there and put it the inside of the box. And for up front, I just run the wires underneath like that, and I just put little zip ties on it to clean it up. You can barely tell it behind the factory headlight harness anyway, so that's not a bad deal. For those JBL speakers, right now I just have these mounted in. There's 2 studs that I put 8mm studs underneath here. It has these other 2 holes up top. So what I'm gonna do with these is, once I figure out if the bike's still gonna be able to charge and this doesn't pull enough watts or amperage from it, then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do another two holes right here in the plastics, and then what that will do is I'll put some bolts in there, and it's gonna secure these really good right there to the plastic. Otherwise, the rest of the plastic is still the same. I just don't have it bolted in right now because I'm playing around with the whole speaker deal. I think the next thing I'm gonna do while we wait for the wheels is I'm going to bench bleed the brakes. So I'll put some fluid in, make sure there's no leaks. I'll put the master cylinder and I'll put the caliper inside of the or the rotor inside the caliper, and then start bleeding the brakes like that, and just doing that so that way once the wheels come, it makes it super easy. One little thing I did too, just my biggest thing with the Vapor is it has so many wires coming out, and the little plastic parts are always showing. I got some loom from Amazon that was pretty small. You can use probably like a 1/2-inch loom. I know we have the split loom at the ruck shop. This one is just the elastic loom, kind of like the finger traps, like the Chinese finger traps that they used to have when we were kids. So it's kind of made of the same stuff. You can pull on it, make it tighter. So I used that, put all the clips for the Vapor in it, and it cleans it up pretty well. So you don't have, 5 cables coming down right there. It's a lot easier. And then once I get everything all sorted, these will be tied together, kind of like what the OEM ones do with the brake levers, so that will clean up the wire look up front. Overall, got a lot done. Just a little bit more to go, and once I put the wheels on, then I'll put the exhaust on and have it off the center stand, because right now I'm using that to prop it up. It's not a bad thing to keep on for the time being. So, start bleeding the brakes. Felix won't join. Rockman, Nick, what's up? What's up? Right now, if you guys are on the Instagram, I'm recording a recording, and you guys are getting the heads up on what's going on right now. Gonna go ahead and keep finishing this, and then start bleeding those brakes. Okay, so I was gonna bleed the brakes. I'm gonna wait till I get the wheels. Once I get the wheels, I'll go ahead and finish that up, put the box on. I'm gonna end this video now. So for the next one, we'll have the wheels in. We'll be able to mount the wheels, get this thing to stand on its own, and I can remove that center stand and the 2x4s under there. Hope you guys liked the video. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe.